Hi people, you'll have to excuse my NBN is really bad, okay? So it's going to play up, it's going to go out of sync, it's going to do weird shit. Can't get it fixed until I can find out why. But anyway, so I'm going to read something here that we posted tonight where things stand. And I'm going to explain it, a word on the political situation from our issue viewpoint. At this time, on the 2nd of the 8th, 21, the ALP have committed to ending forced third-party income management, basics and cashless debit card, to ending contracts with India Limited and repealing the legislation. These are direct commitments made to us and visible on their pages. We aim to keep them to it. Getting to this point has taken 6 years and a lot of effort. Keeping ALP accountable to commitments will be for everybody's job if they are elected. At this time and after multiple meetings, we consider their direction sound and their intention to live up to this commitment to be genuine. When we asked directly about their understanding of voluntary, ALP's disclosure that a program based on free prior informed consent run by the government, not private corporation, will be made available to those who ask for it. This is consistent with the ALP speeches and policy since 2007. And while it might surprise some, the reality is some micro communities and individuals do ask for this support. The ALP position, if supported by Australian Greens and Independents through the House of Reps and Senate, will end forced third-party income management in Australia. We as groups No Cashless Debit Card Australia and SN7 will be lending our support to achieving this goal, contingent on the ongoing process, inclusion of cardholder voices and continued transparency. This is where things stand for us. This is always has been our goal, ending the cashless debit card. It's why we exist. If elected, in order to ensure passage of repealing legislation through the House of Reps and the Senate, the ALP commitment is not enough without a majority. Commitments from others, Australian Greens and Independents and independent parties, that they will support these bills and this goal is also essential in the event majority is not achieved. The insecurity regarding the majority issue is why we have taken our how to vote position. We have called for an ALP, Greens 1-2 vote with Andrew Wilkie, Helen Hayes, Australian Workers' Party, Australian Housing and Australian Progressive parties as our preferred independents. We can't and won't demand anything. We can only speak to what we feel needs to happen for this goal to be achieved. A House of Reps flush with supported, committed indies or an outright ALP majority is key to the legislative success, as is an informed, disciplined and well-conscienced anti-card anchored Senate chamber to ensure those commitments include protections, sunsets and remain in check with the needs and the realities of cardholders. How you vote is up to you and on you. You are responsible to know and you are always free to vote as your conscience dictates. We are not kings or monsters. We don't believe in removing people's rights. We do believe that we can do this, make this massive change, that setting ego and fear aside, we can come together to start from the very bottom up, to change government, number one, and to change the future for forced cardholders and for all of our communities, to return security, the platform of social security. To all those getting on board, thank you. Hope lives so long as even one person stands and says no. No more abuse. It's time to end the policy once and for all. Right? So, we're having to delete comments because some people didn't understand that, can't read it, right? Because people, I don't know what's their wrong. If people have attacked us on the page, right? All right, I am looking at comments here, which appear to have been deleted. All right, but I've still got them because I haven't refreshed my page. I'll just let somebody know. Hang on a second. It's all right. Don't mind me. All right. Okay. So, the problem we have is for some reason people can't understand this. Now, I had a bit of a spit on my own page earlier. I'm sick to death of the nitpicking, the fighting, and carrying on. Okay? We want a future. I want a future for my kids. I want a future for your kids. I want a future for everybody in this country. We need to change government. That's it. No matter what party you would normally vote for, ALP need to get over the line. Greens need to be strong in the Senate. All right? And independence, not One Nation and not Centre Alliance, you know, but good independents need to be in there as well. There's nothing bad in saying that. But we've got a couple of people attacking us, and I don't understand why. It was bad enough on the Hinkler page having Greens members attacking. And I got really shitty about that earlier, right, because it was doing my head in. But then to have Labor people attacking as well, you know, somebody saying that we're telling people don't vote for Labor, shame on you. We can't tell you who to vote for. I can tell you who I'm going to vote for and how I'm going to vote, okay? This is how I'm going to do it. ALP 1, Greens 2. All right? And if Australian Progressives are in my region, I'll put them number 3. You know what I mean? Most of the time, we don't get to have the good Progressives on our ballot tickets up here because they're all right-wing nut jobs. Right? We will be putting LNP One Nation last on the bottom of all of our ballot tickets, no matter which way we go. All right? You fill out the Senate forms, I'll be putting ALP and Greens, but I'll probably put Greens 1 and ALP 2 because we need strong Greens in the Senate. That way, I'm voting both ways, but I'm making sure the primary goes to ALP to get them over the line, and it helps Greens get the numbers in the Senate to keep everything in check. And, but if ALP get a majority in the House of Reps, a lot of the nasty bills will stop at the House of Reps. They won't be sent down to the Senate. It's frustrating, how people don't know how politics works in this country. And it's not, they can look it up. We have social media. You can watch Parliament on your computer, all right, when it's sitting. You can watch it live, okay, from Parliament House. Oh, dear, oh, dear. So we had this one lady who obviously didn't read and had a go at us and accused us of, telling people don't vote Labor. It's irresponsible. Shame on you. Right. Amanda told us she needed to read the post again. I said, and I put a comment, so you didn't read or understand the post, so you attack us. Right? But then further down the page, this other guy, right, accused us of bagging Labor. You want support, then stop lying. On Friday, you posted Labor lies. Today, I call you on it and you deny such a post. I'm sure that ALP will be interested to know what you're biting the hand that will feed you. What's that about? We posted a post in response to the LNP posting, Labor lies. And I think the correct reply and the post that went with it, if people would read it instead of just looking at the picture, it clearly states LNP lying by omission. And the post explained how it showed how desperate the LNP are to make up crap against Labor. Right, saying that Labor's lying because Labor and the Greens voted on a part of this amendment that if they hadn't have voted it, right, the FRC would have lost all of their control. You know what I mean? No, we're not doing Vote Australia One Party and all those, okay? We're not doing that. And I'll remove that comment anyway, because Australia One Party aren't against the card and they're not progressive, right? We've listed the progressive ones because they're the ones that we know are going to support getting rid of the card. Okay? See there, Ron Skipworth, straight away, Australian people not for Liberal or Labor. No, we're not putting up with that crap. It's divisive. And yeah, we're not doing it. Right, we know who has the power to take the card out of action. And the Australia One Party doesn't have the power. You can't get 76 seats in the House of Reps. And no, not doing it. Not doing it. You know, sorry, but just not doing it. We're not putting up with people bagging me and Amanda and trying to drag our mental health into the toilet. We've been here for 6 years, fighting our asses off, right? And at the beginning of that 6 years, Labor was in support of the cashless debit card with the LNP, and we've helped change that. We've worked very hard with the support of our supporters on here who have not given up the fight, right? And we've managed to expose what's been going on with the card holders. We've been supporting the card holders all the way through. And we're not putting up with the shit anymore. We're not going to have both Greens and Labor sniping on our pages. And if you come here to do that, you will get muted. Okay? We're not electioneering for oddball parties like Australia One Party that don't have come out of nowhere and just want to leak votes. Right? We need a change of government. ALP are not perfect. Right? But they're a hell of a lot better than what we've got. And let's be honest here. You guys out there, do you want to keep Medicare? Do you want to fix Medicare? Do you want to fix and make sure protect NDIS? Right? Do you want to look after age pensioners? Do we want to look after our pensions? Right? Do we want to have a society that has a chance? Well, we have to let ALP turn over, right? Have a go, and we have to make them, you know, hold them to account. Make sure they follow through. All right? Admin and mods are exhausted. Yep, absolutely. I am absolutely knackered. Mentally, it's been solid 2 days, 48 hours of being under attack. We're asking people to read posts carefully before commenting. Open up the post where it says see more. Click on see more and read it all the way through. Right? Don't just jump. And don't abuse us. Right? And keep political party infighting off our pages. It's not much to ask. It's not much to ask. It drives me nuts. My patience gets lost with how much do we have to spell things in grade 2 level and baby speak? Because that gets so frustrating when you put a post up and it's written properly and people don't read it. They just jump in and attack. And that's not fair. We're not politicians, right? You know, we're just people. I'm just a 53-year-old woman on a disability support pension that got hurt at work and ended up on the scrap heap, right? Who's trying to protect not only myself and my daughter, but everybody else out there and help as many people as I can. You know, we're just ordinary people. That's all. We're not politicians and we're not trained in sniping and we're not interested in sniping. I'm interested in keeping you guys aware of what's going on with card holders on the ground, what's happening to people and raising awareness and trying to help people get off the card, right, and stop the bloody thing. That's been the goal all the way along. I really don't get what's going on with some people. I really don't. You know? Why attack us? What, you think I'm going to shut up just because you start pissing me off? Don't wind me up. I don't shut up. I just get louder and I'll swear more, okay? So you really don't want that. Yeah. What else can I say? It's up to the public whether they want more of what we've got, which is absolutely disgusting. Government ripping off the people, the rorts, cashless debit card, the cuts to the health services, education. They've got no housing budget. They're happy to see thousands and thousands of single parents out on the streets. I'm on TikTok a lot, and there's so many single parents crying out for help in hotels, and they do daily TikToks, you know what I mean? And it's like day 75, day 200, and things like that, you know, doing a blog, a daily blog of what it's like in this housing crisis. Australia shouldn't have a housing crisis, but we've got a government who doesn't care. But, you know, a government that produces policies that cause austerity and inequality, and they don't care. Policies that cause people to go hungry and homeless and exclude them from access to medical services by not paying people enough to even live on. Right? So people would like, I'd love to write a list, but you know, let's do the pros and cons, people. Do the pros and cons of keeping an LNP government compared to having an ALP government with a Greens good backup to make sure that the good stuff gets through so that they can actually do stuff for the people. All right? Do that. Get out a piece of paper and do the pros and cons. We need to keep our Medicare. We need to get rid of the cashless debit card. We need to keep our NDIS funding. We need to make sure that we don't have 25,000 dead elderly parents who are waiting for home care, like the LNP have done. We need homeless services. We need public housing. We need accessible specialists for people to be able to access the DSP. We need people to be able to access the DSP. The LNP have made it so difficult. Yes, we know Gillard changed the tables. We're not blind. We need to move forward, not backwards, right? And so far, all the attacks are, oh, but Labor did this, Labor did that. We haven't got time to worry about the past. We need to move to the future, right? But we didn't expect the LNP to ramp it up so that people virtually spend years and years and years trying to get the LNP and have to get lawyers involved and spend thousands and thousands and thousands on reports. We've got 376,000 people out there that should be on a DSP, on JobSeeker, that cannot access specialists, can't get correct diagnosis, so therefore they can't get treatment, they can't afford medications because JobSeeker payment's too low. That has to be fixed, right? That has to be fixed. One Nation and LNP aren't going to fix it. Made that very clear. Look what they've done throughout COVID. You know what I mean? Look how they've dumped everybody in the poo. So, do your pros and cons. Think about, and to those that are sitting on the fence, how has your life improved under the LNP? What services are you now paying for that you didn't have to pay for before? Okay? What's changed? What good things have they done for you? Right? List them. Do your pros and cons list. There's no comparison because to me, when I look at the LNP side, cashless debit cards for everybody nationally rolled out, more punitive mutual obligations for people without jobs or disabilities, right? More cuts to NDIS, more cuts to health services, more cuts to housing instead of providing. There's no comparison. The LNP are leading the general public and the low-paid workers of this country with no future. No future. They're not even putting up a future. They're making it very clear they don't care. All right? Look at the way Morrison's handled the pandemic. We're 18 months in, we still don't have quarantine facilities. We still don't have enough vaccines. Right? Think about it. They sold our water. The Nationals. Remember? party, hang on, I'll read this in a sec. The party for the farmers has been selling the water and has become the, the poster people for the mining companies. And Kevin Haggerty here just put Steady Eddie. Now I remember him. Just got denied for NDIS. He is possibly the most well-known, I won't use the word you were, disabled person in the comedic community. His whole act is about his disability. Ridiculous. Steady Eddie got rejected for NDIS. Why? Because it's all about cost cutting and savings. That comes down to another question, doesn't it? With all the services they've cut since Abbott got in, all the homeless services, all the DV services, all the rehab services, all the community services, all the mental health services, all the emergency housing services, all the services, because, we need to save the money. Where'd the money go that they cut? They cut this money, so they saved it. So where's it gone? Right? And then, why are we $1 trillion in debt? When they cut all these services to save all that money, where's the savings gone, and why are we $1 trillion in debt? And why are the gas and oil and mining execs, or, industry, getting $19,000 a minute? Why are they getting $19,000 a minute while we've got families living in cars, hotels, people going hungry, while we've got people who can't get jobs, while we've got disabled people that can't access treatment, while we've got unemployed people who can't access medicines and food and housing, and the rest, and the list goes on. So really, to do your pros and cons list, there's no comparison, is there? We have to get rid of the LNP. Let's focus on getting together, united, and get rid of the LNP and One Nation and Centre Alliance, right, because they'll make deals, right? And let's get moving forward for a future, right? Yep, Labor's not perfect, but it's a stepping stone to something a bit better, right? And dwelling on the past is not going to get us a future. Simple as that. And if there's any more tittle-tattling between Greens and Labor and vice versa on the pages, you'll just find you won't even know that your comment's been muted. Okay? A little trick that Facebook does for us is we can hide your comment, but you don't know we've done it, and you can see your comment there and think, oh, everybody can see my comment, and you're the only one who can. So don't come on here playing the divisive crap, and don't attack us, because we're only human. I'm only a human being. Do you know, I had to leave my house today. I just wanted to cry. I just wanted to cry. The hopelessness that I was feeling. Because if we can't afford another 4 years of being sold off. Simple as that. We are only 20% of the Australian public. Mean anything to these people, the rest of us can all go and starve and go to hell. All right? I want Australia back. And the only way to do it is change government. And we have a two-party system. And people go, oh, you need to change that, but you need... it's going to take donkey's years. It's going to take decades. All right? The Greens can't do it with one person in the House of Reps. You need 76. All right? The important thing is to get Labor in that House of Reps. The Greens need more people in the Senate. Anyway, but that's my opinion. I can't tell you how to vote. But don't come on here and tell me, I don't know, that I'm bagging Labor, because I'm not. And I'm not going to bag Rachel Seawood or anybody like her. She has fought a tremendous fight, and she's going to be so sorely missed, right? Rachel has stood up and fought the good fight for, I don't know, 15 years in that Senate or more. Right? She stood up for social justice. She stood up for everybody. She stood up for First Nations people. She stood up for us. She stood up for low-paid workers. Right? I would never, ever bag that woman out. She is an absolute hero. All right, and the Senate's going to have a big hole in it when she's gone. She's not contesting the next election. She's retiring. And that's a big voice in a little package, but a big voice that the Senate is losing. And a big voice for social justice issues. Okay? Anyway, I'm going to go. It's late. And hopefully this video didn't distort too much. Thanks, guys. See ya.